everybody, it's Suffolk Andy here, and I'm down at Shotley today. Not to look at the swans, but they're here. But I've come to look at the Evergreen. Yes, the Evergreen. Now, that's the big green ship at the end there with Evergreen on it. That is the ship that blocked the Suez Canal a few weeks back. It's now in the UK and it's at this port. So I thought, oh, I'd come down and have a look. Good place to come to see the docks, and beautiful day today. And that is the Evergreen over there. That is the boat that blocked the Suez Canal. And I think they're still squabbling over the compensation, 650 million or something like that. It could even be more, but that's what they're squabbling over. So I thought I'd show you that. Let's just have a little trip down here. You can see how busy it is. Everybody's come to see the Evergreen. Yes, the Evergreen. Turn round down here, but I'll see if I can show you some of the yachts here. The shipwreck. So there is Shotley Marina, all the boats. There you go. Right, let's make our way back to Ipswich. About 4 days ago, my boy Aaron came in, tapped the strips, and said, "Dad, have you noticed that Asda have changed their petrol to E10? And I said, yeah, I've heard about E10. I said, it's coming in soon. He said, well, it's in because it's up there. And I said, well, I didn't think that was coming in to sort of September time. And this was like the 1st of August. So, I thought, oh, he said, you better check what bikes run on it and what cars you've got. Well, I said, oh, my X-Ray is a diesel. But Mrs. P's car is a little Kia Pinocchio. Call it Pinocchio, so small, puddle jumper. So, that's fine, that runs on it. But I found out that this bike runs on it, E10, but my ZZR 1200 does not. So if I ever put it back on the road, it'll be no E10 for that bike. Then I thought, well, I'm no chemist, I'm no expert on fuel or gas, whatever, or petrol, whatever you want to call it, whatever part of the world you're in. I better have a look more into this E10. So I went on to YouTube and watched several videos, quite a few actually, about E10. Well, our standard petrol here, if it's not high octane, has got 5% ethanol. Then they're going to make that up to 10% ethanol, which you might think, well, what difference does it make? And it does. But let's go and talk about ethanol first. I didn't know ethanol was plant based. So it's growing. It's a plant. It's growing. And you need vast areas of land to grow maize and plants like that to make ethanol. So what they're doing is, in poorer countries of the world, they're growing vast stretches of land with worthless crops to the people who live there. But good for them because they can make ethanol out of it. And bet you the money won't trickle down to the local people, it will trickle down to the people who own the lands. So anyway, that's a different story. So the idea of turning it up to 10% ethanol is to save the planet. Less emissions into the air. Now we're all, and you know, you'd be a fool if you said, I want a dirtier world, or I want a, you know, shitty climate. We all want clean air, clean water, and a decent environment. So yeah, you can say, yeah, I can go along with that, but there's a lot more to it, I'm afraid. A lot more to it. So I thought, let's find out what ethanol does to a vehicle that can't run on it. Well, it will attack hoses, rubber hoses, plastics, filters in carburetors and stuff like that, and basically destroy them over time. That's why you can't have it. But most modern cars, from about 202 upwards, can usually handle it. So they say. That's what they're telling us. I wonder if they're gonna, if it doesn't work and we've got all cars breaking down, they're gonna pay for the repairs. Well, I doubt that very much, actually. But you never know with this government. They're very generous with everything else. I could go into such a rant, but I'm not. Yeah, so it can hurt engine parts, plastic parts, anything like that. So you think to yourself, well, you check and you say, oh, my bike can run on that, I'll be fine. Great, yeah, sounds good. But the trouble with ethanol and petrol mixed together at high ratios, it doesn't, shelf life, it doesn't, the shelf life is very short. It's about a month. It's about a month. Now, we all know modern fuels don't have a long shelf life. Years ago you could put them in a can and keep them for years, but now you can't. But yeah, it has a very short shelf life of about a month, because the ethanol and the fuel separate into layers. So you have a layer of fuel and a layer of ethanol underneath it. Well, ethanol likes to attract water. So it attracts water. The more you store ethanol, the more water it will attract. Air is in the air, you know, air is everywhere. It's inside your tank everywhere, and that will extract the water out of the air. So it builds up a third layer. So you get fuel, ethanol and water. Okay? And what does water do to metal tanks? It rusts them. It will start rusting. Okay? And then you think, well, my tank's, you know, plastic or some other material, but ethanol don't care. You can't rust it, but it will expand it. Yes, it will expand it. So you think, oh, okay, you take your petrol tank off, and as soon as you take it off, it will expand, only slightly. But when you go to put it back in onto your bike, the bolt fittings won't fit, so you've got to have to do a lot of adjusting and a lot of mucking about to try and get it back on. So that's good for you as well, good to know. And the main thing about it as well, it's not such efficient. So you're looking up to, and they're saying up to, hey, I'm no chemist, I don't know, I'm no expert, 30% less efficient, so some people are saying. I date that myself. I think it will be less efficient, but I can't see 30%, it would be rubbish. So basically you won't get so much mileage out of a litre or a gallon of E10. Right, so the government in all its wisdom have said they're going to leave high octane fuels on some forecourts, because a lot of people are not going to be able to use this saving the planet wonder fuel. They're going to have to search for high octane fuels, which are more expensive. But if you're only going to get, you know, you're going to get 30% less mileage out of ethanol, you might as well go for the high octane stuff, pay a little bit more and get a better mileage. So that's what it's all about, as they say. It's what it's all about. I hope you can keep with that. Like I say, I'm not an expert. What I'm going to do, I am not going to put E10 into this bike. I've made up my mind on that, it's not going in. I put a tenner's worth of E10 into my wife's car, and I want to see how that runs. But no E10 is going in this bike. I shall be putting high octane fuel, because before that I didn't care. If I went to a garage and they had high octane fuel, I'd put it in. But if they had what we call regular, 4-star only, I'd put it in. You know, I didn't care. But now I'm not going to put E10 in any of my vehicles. And I'm not telling you what to do, I'm not telling you how to suck eggs, but I would look into this like I have and see the shortfalls. I think it's a short fix for their crazy save the planet agenda, We could do a lot better with other stuff like cleaning up plastics, packaging and stuff like that. You know, we could do so much more with that. But that's a video for another day, because if I get into climate change I will rant, because it's all a scam. Okay, that's all I'm saying. Don't crucify me for that, but it's a scam. I'm not saying climate change doesn't exist, because it does, but they're going to scam us. But anyway, yeah, here I am at Chalmer Distant. Just to my left this is Dawn House. That was my auntie's house, and this house here, which you can't hardly see, is my Nana and Granddad's house. That one there, yeah, halfway house. Spent many a good time in this village when I was a kid. But anyway, so I hope that's explained it all. I would seriously go out and do your facts on this and find out everything you need to know. But I seriously think this is a big mistake by the government, and I feel sorry for the countries that are getting raped by it for their land to grow maize and stuff to make ethanol. Sad. So with that, all that's left to say is all ride safe, love each other, Suffolk Andy.